Hopefully everybody can hear me. Good morning. Apologies for that couple of technical issues there as always. Welcome to the Office Management Portal Webemo this morning. I've just popped your line on mute, Gosia, just because there was some background noise there, but hopefully you can all hear me. If there are any issues, there is a chat screen that you can use on the Zoom control panel, so do raise a question in there and I can unmute everybody's lines later. I'm just going to send a chat message so you can see the screen. So yeah, any issues or questions as I go through, shout. I can always unmute you guys if you want to. There's only 3 of us on the call today. I think there's due to be another couple of people as well that might join as we go through. This Webemo is being recorded so that we can use it on social media later. So if everybody's happy with that, then great. If not, please do let me know. Your names won't be published on there unless, of course, I say them. So yeah, hopefully that's okay. And we'll start going through benefits of the Office Management Portal and I'll show you it as well. Okay, so the portal really was created because of a lack of support, development and access to training and advice and contacts and resources and all sorts of other things in office management roles. So I've been an office manager for around about 14 years now, and I've never really come across any resource or any press or any exhibitions or trade shows or training or support like a platform such as the portal that helps office managers to progress and to develop and to access things that help with their many, many different hats that we have to wear in these roles. And obviously through my own experience, as well as doing a survey in June last year to over 100 office managers across the country, we found out that yes, we do wear many different hats, and these vary from running events to running the reception to running the facilities and the contracts and procurement and some HR and maybe some accounting as well, and so on and so forth. And as a result, it seems from this survey and from having spoken to a number of clients and lots of other contacts that we've got as a result of our consultancy, that there was a gap for a platform to be created. So we decided to do that. And one of the other things that we realised was that there really wasn't any network for office managers, ignoring the lack of resources and training for the moment. There actually weren't any real networking groups or opportunities or, like I say, exhibitions. And there wasn't anything virtually either for office managers to do this, other than the normal groups on LinkedIn, which often get cluttered by people like me trying to sell our services. There's not really a lot of interaction out there for office managers across the county, across the country, and indeed across the world. So one of our main aims was to create this virtual and physical network for office management professionals, and also to create this easy to use tool that you can access whenever you need it, full of templates, tips, advice, contacts, and much, much more, as we'll have a look. So I'm going to talk about this screen just in a second, and for now what I'm going to do is log us into the portal and I'll talk you through it. If anybody does want to raise any questions, I'm just going to unmute both your lines, so feel free to interrupt just because there's a small audience, so we can shout out, as it were. So the Office Management Portal is a website address, so you can access it from desktops on any of the platforms like Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, Firefox and so on. You can access it on all of those. And you can also access it on your tablet, so iPads or Samsung tablets and mobile phones and so on. It's fully optimized for all of them. So if you're like me and you're out and about quite a bit as part of your role and you want to have a look at the portal while you're traveling or while you're in a meeting and something comes up that you want to check on, you can use the portal remotely as well. There's a couple of pages up here, so if you're not a member, you can sign up. There's 3 packages to choose from. You can pay monthly by direct debit for the year, or you can pay annually in advance. And with an annual package, it's a little bit cheaper. It works out about 10% or so savings. Once you've picked your package, you can get started and set up the direct debit from there, you will need the company bank account details to do it. If you do ever want to join the portal and you want an invoice raised instead, you can drop us an email and we can do that, because I know some companies don't do direct debits. And likewise, if you prefer to pay by credit card, we accept those as well and we can set that up for you. Alternatively, you can have a look at the free trial, which I highly recommend doing before you buy, if you are interested, and clicking here, and you get 30 days free access to it. So what I'm going to do now is just log into it using my admin account. This account obviously is an admin account, so there are a couple of things in here that you won't see in your views of the portal, like edit buttons and add buttons and so on. But generally, everything is the same. It's really, really easy to use, and is actually built on the same platform that the background of Facebook was built on, and it's a platform called React, although I'm not sure saying about Facebook's a good thing anymore given all the issues they've had lately. But anyway, the point is it's a really intuitive, easy to use tool, and the idea is that it feels a little bit like a Facebook or like a LinkedIn, in that it's a portal rather than a website. So it's a resource and it's a hub for you where you can access whatever you need at the drop of a hat. Up here you've got your account details, so my account here, and you can see all the details that I've filled in there, and you can change those at any time just by clicking the edit button, or you can change your password. And you can also get in touch with us if you do need to update bank account details and so on there. You've got our terms and conditions and policies in here at all times, so you can have a look at those and make sure you're happy with them, obviously before you sign up ideally. And help up here, so there's some FAQs. Generally most of them will point you to the contact us form, so you can get in touch with us, but there's a couple of things in here about technical issues, and if you want to become a partner on our portal, which you can do if your firm does supply services to office management and offices, getting the most out of the forum and so on and so forth. So some FAQs in there which will no doubt grow as the portal does. If I take us back to the dashboard now, I'll just explain a little bit more. So the portal is only about 4 months old. It went live pretty much at the end of last year. I think it was maybe early December that we launched it, and it's had over 130 members on it since it went live, most of which are on a free trial, and it's got about 20 or so permanent members on there. So it's really started to take momentum and shape. And I think one of the things that that really helps us is when people use it and then obviously share the information about the portal to help the membership base grow, because I think the more people that are in here contributing towards it in ways like the forum and coming to our events and joining webinars and so on, the more successful it becomes for everybody. So there's 6 main sections to the portal: tips and advice, templates, events and training calendar, the forum, which I've already mentioned, the partner service and supply directory, and also a handy jargon buster. So I'll start in tips and advice first of all. Now this section really acts like a little bit of a news feed, or I guess an informal kind of blog as well. Full of some standing advice, like if you're new to office management, what to do. So say, for example, you're a PA and you're taking on office management for the first time, or you're still fairly new to it. There's some bulk advice in here onto what to consider. Things like meet with all your providers, and don't make any promises just yet, because staff will hold you to them. So make a note of things that they're asking for and see if you can get them done at a later date. Or if you're starting a new role as an office manager, so let's say, for example, you're moving from one company to another and you've already been an office manager, but you're going to do it again in a different company, a larger company, or whatever it might be. So some standard things in here, and again, you know, reading your lease, your office lease or rental service agreement. A lot of people don't do that, and then you miss things like break clause options and so on and so forth. So having a read of it, whether or not you understand it all might be a different thing, but picking out some key terms like the length of your tenancy, break clauses, notice periods, the square footage, and so on. So yes, some really sort of standard advice in there about being in office management. And this gets updated every week. So there's normally around 2 to 3 tips that get added. A lot of them surround health and safety because we get news updates from various streams on health and safety changes or matters. And obviously there's quite a bit in here about GDPR at the moment. And then anything, you know, on health and on HR, sorry, and on, you know, how to procure printers, I think was one we did recently. So there's lots and lots of tips. And of course you can search in here as well. So if I'm searching for something to do with fire, I can have a look here. And there's a calculator in here, for example, of how many first aiders and fire marshals I should have in my office. So it takes me to an external link that we've found and we've shared because we think it's useful, and this is one a lot of people don't know the answer to. And then, yeah, it will take you through a little bit of a risk assessment and tell you at the end how many it thinks you should have. So that's in there. Any questions on tips and advice at all? No? Okay, fab. Now, every time we add tips, advice, templates and forum topics, there will be a little notification up here. Now, as an admin, I don't tend to get them all because I've been the one adding them, but certainly when people are raising new topics in the forum or someone's replied to one that I've raised, I'm getting the notifications up here. So as a free trial member or a paid member, you will see little indications up here. And at some point in a new development, we're going to give you access to tell us what you want to be told about. So you can have email notifications come to you if you want notifications on the forum topics raised or tips added and so on and so forth. So we're going to make it a little bit more customizable for you. Templates next. Now, during the 30-day free trial, you don't get access to these because these are probably the kind of gold in the portal where we're giving you templates that you can use for your company, for your office, or for your business if you're a small business owner, excuse me. Now, they're categorized for ease. So again, you can search through them, but during the free trial, you will be able to see this information here. You just won't be able to tick this box to download the template. So you'll be able to see a brief description of what it is, what file type it is, because we've got all these handy little pictures here to show the file type, but you won't be able to physically download it. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of ones that are fairly popular on here. This is a move project plan. So if, for example, you're about to undergo an office move, whether that's just an internal shuffle relocation or perhaps a much bigger relocation, and you're, you know, moving offices for the first time and you've never done it before, or even if you have, you just want a checklist kind of ready-made. This is that, and we do add to it quite regularly. You know, there's things that we still see and we learn about, and we update our templates as and when we find out things that might be useful for our members. Sorry, just bear with me a second. I'm working from home and my dog's about to bark as is the doorbell going. The joys of working at home. Sorry about that. So yeah, so this is a ready-made checklist basically. So obviously if things aren't applicable for you where you might not need to purchase any new IT kit, for example, you can just delete this row. However, if it is, you can assign it to IT. You can say the due date is the 20th of May. You can add comments like 4 times PCs, etc. And then you can put it's in progress. I've made the order. So yeah, so this you can just use as your own to help you. So if I come out of that one. There's things in here like move labels, desk move templates, so actually filling in who's moving from what to where, move check sheets and so on. Then we've got joiners and leavers, so there's tracking pages, welcome packs, and there's notification emails. So this is, and I won't open it up because it's going to open up my Outlook for my emails in, but this is a template that can be used. You can circulate it, for example, to everybody that's a line manager or everyone in HR or IT, and when they know that joiners are coming in and they've got the name and start date and department and so on, they can fill it in and send it to you. And if you've got something like an intranet site set up where you've got templates you can upload and add, you can upload this and the lever one and any other templates you want to for HR, for line managers to use and send it back to you. So you and IT and whoever else knows exactly when joiners are coming. It's all very much part of this proactive drive, so you have information at your fingertips rather than it being reactive and everything happening at last minute and your joiners turning up and reception saying, oh, we're not expecting you today, and them having a blank look on their face like, oh, okay, what do we do from here? And then everybody panics. So trying to get that in place. Health and safety. So this is also a good one that a lot of our members and our clients actually in the consultancy use. So this is a gap analysis self-assessment, and we do webinars for our enhanced and premium members for these. And if you're not on those packages, you can purchase a webinar recording or come to a live session on an ad hoc basis. But this is basically similarly to the MOVE template. It's a run of things that we should be doing in our offices for health and safety. So if, for example, you have a startup and you're not sure really what you should be doing, you can have a look at this. Or if you're an established business and you just want to do a bit of check and reassurance that you're doing everything you should be when it comes to health and safety and wellness as well, then you can go through this list. It's got an area, so this is kind of general health and safety, and then it comes to desk assessments, there's fire safety, stress and wellness, travelling for work, inductions and training, and so on. And within each of the descriptions, it tells you what the legislative information is, if applicable, or what the recommendation is, if it's best practice. It might point you to links here that you can copy out and go to. And it will also tell you if it's a legal requirement or not. So if it's NA, it might just be best practice or just trying to get an understanding of your business. And then again, everything's conditional formatted. So I can go through and answer these and say, yes, we have all these, no, we don't. And then I can really clearly see what I need to work on, and you should be able to filter this out too. And what I recommend is putting your company name in here. And if the HSE do ever come knocking on your door for whatever reason, you've got a sheet that shows you know what you need to be doing and you're working on it, which is far better than not doing anything at all. And then, of course, if you do need the templates off the back of that, like the policies, the risk assessments, checklists, forms, etc., a lot of them are in here, and we're still adding to this. So templates get uploaded much like tips, around 2 or 3 a week. And then obviously you can always contact us if you need something sooner, and we can put it in here. Facilities management, so there's some general things in here like permit to work templates and PAT plans. There are contract termination letters. So say, for example, you want to terminate your cleaning contract. There's some detailed or quite simple ones in here that you can use, non-disclosure agreements and so on. And for anybody that has to do business continuity planning, this one will grow quite significantly as the portal does. So there's some logs and forms in there you can use. Lastly, I'm just going to show you the procurement section. So stationary benchmarking is one that I think a lot of people go through, and you might get prices from a couple of new suppliers but not really know how to look at it and how to compare them. And we're doing a webinar on this, I think, at some point in May. So again, if you're not a member of the portal, you can join the webinar for a one-off fee, or if you are and you're an enhanced or premium package, you can join it for free as part of your membership. So I'm going to ignore these tabs for the minute and take you straight to the current supplier pricing. So let's say, for example, you're with a company called Stationery 123. You could send them this template and say, can you fill in everything that I'm buying at the moment from you regularly, or you know, everything I've ever ordered in the last year. They'll tell you whether it's core or non-core and so on and so forth, and put their prices in here. And then you can say, right, what was my average annual order? And it looks at the total annual spend and the spend for your entire stationery orders with this particular company. You can then use the same template, excuse me, which we've put on a tab just here, to send to new suppliers. So say, for example, you go to 2 or 3 new suppliers that you want to speak to. They will then send you their pricing for the exactly the same, or you know, maybe slightly different brand items. And if you put in your current pack size versus the new pack size with the new stationery company, our clever spreadsheet works out the cost per item and the cost per unit. So, for example, if a packet of pens is in a packet of 20, it will work out what each individual pen will cost you rather than looking at the packet price as a whole, because, of course, their pack sizes might vary. So I know that one's a little bit complicated, but it's a really good template, and this is one we're going to go through in detail when we do the webinar. And it will spit out the summary here for you in the summary order, so it will show you who's cheapest and by how much. And of course, it's not just about being cheap, so the service counts for an awful lot. So this helps you to figure out at least one part of that. Then most recently, actually, we just added this mobile phone contract tender. So I'll show you this very briefly. Works in a similar way, but obviously it's for a different product. So if you're looking at your mobile phone contract or iPads or tablet contract, all of the above, you can use this spreadsheet and speak to your existing provider, whether it's directly with a network or you're using a third party, and put details of the tariffs in here that you're on and what they cost per month and how many people you've got on them. And then if you have any termination fees down here to pay, for example, if you have various end dates and you want to roll them all into one new contract, you might have to pay termination fees on those devices. So you can put that down here, and this again works out what that contract cost is. And then you can use it again, send this to your new providers, or just get them to email you the information and extract it and put it in. And then fill it in so you can see exactly who's going to save you some money and what you're getting for your package. And like with the stationery order, we've got a summary page here so you can compare them really easily. And as I've said up here, you could just pull this out and copy it into a PowerPoint presentation or an email and send that off to your boss or whoever your approver is to say, this is the tender I've done, you know, this one will save us money, but you can see that we get a tech fund of, you know, whatever with this, it might be, and so on and so forth. So if you're responsible for procurement or a couple of procurement items, these might be handy. Any questions at all on templates? Okay. So next we've got the events and training calendar, and this is really just one of our tools that we think is really handy for office managers or anybody that's perhaps in a PA, office management role or reception. And we chuck into this all the training and events that we think are useful. So networking events, exhibitions, health and safety training, yeah, all sorts of stuff that we found and we've got contacts for and we've put in here. So you can see when there's multiple dates, it just tells you there's a few more on that day. And this also includes our current networking events for office managers. So whether you're a member of the portal or not, we have open networking events on a quarterly basis. So yeah, so this one is on the 24th of May, and you can book it and it will just take you to whatever the external website is, so you can go ahead and book your tickets there, and that's the same for all of these. You can filter between, where are we, events and training, so you can just see the ones that are events or just see the ones that are training for each month. It looks like we've only gone up to May so far, but yeah, there's quite a few in April. And also, if you want to add or recommend adding your own event, you can request it here. It will look slightly differently to this, but you'll have an add an event or request to add an event tab within your view, and we can then approve it and it will get added to the portal. So if you hear of anything that you think should be in here, you can let us know. The forum, so this one, it delights me so much because when I first started the portal, and I think actually, Jen, you were one of the very first members on a free trial, there was only a couple of topics in here which I'd actually raised myself. And there was not much going on, but it's really, really lovely now to see that we've got quite a lot of topics being raised, and you know, lots of replies going on. So yeah, so really, really happy with that, and hopefully that will continue, and we'll eventually put categories in there to archive them. But quite simply, if you want to raise your own topic, you can put a topic in here and put the description of what you want and save it, and that will post out, and it will add a notification up here for everybody to say a new topic's been created, and eventually everybody will get an email notification. It should release hopefully next week, where you start getting those, so you know when to come back to the portal and look for these. Yeah, so you can have these topics raised, and then obviously if you see one and you want to reply to it, you can just reply to the thread in here and it will add it. One of the other enhancements we've got in the pipeline is to have dates and timestamps to all of these, because we don't have that at the moment, and it's been quite confusing for people to see how old they are and so on. And as with everything in life at the moment, we can like people's topics. So I may have already liked this one, but we can like people's replies or topics and so on. You can see again quite a bit of activity going on here, and you can't like it twice. So that's the forum. And this part is our virtual network. So we're doing this physical thing by doing these networking events and really trying to raise the profile for office managers to meet and greet suppliers and so on as well on a regular basis. But this is the virtual part of this network that we're trying to create. It's one of our main objectives. Next to the partner supplier directory. So let's say, for example, we're looking for, let's do handyman in London. It will bring up our handyman companies that we know, we've got to know over time, or that have been recommended to us to come into the portal, and we've done numerous checks and had a couple of coffees with them. And we can go to their website from here. We can contact them from here, so it will just bring a contact form up, which will then email them your details. And if applicable, I'm going to bring up cleaning because I know there's some brochures in here. We can have a look at their brochures. So you can have a good look and see if they're maybe one of the companies that you want to contact. Every time you search for partners, they get hit. So if you ever do know of anybody that wants to join as a partner supplier, they get automatic reports to show how many hits they've had in the portal and how many times they've been contacted and things. So it's really, really interactive. And that's why there are cookies on the portal as well. I think on the contact us section, there is a section where you can recommend a partner supplier, or you can tell us about a partner supplier that's active with us, good, bad, indifferent, and let us know your feedback. Then the sixth section of the portal is the Jargon Buster. So this one is actually really, really popular. Loads of people love it and say it's better than Google in some cases, because Google brings up lots of different acronym meanings and they're not really ever sure which one is applicable for office management. So let's look at something like HVAC to start with, which is heating, ventilation and air conditioning, or PPMs, which is preventative or planned preventative maintenance. Or you can just scroll through. Obviously it will tell you if something's not in there. And again, this just keeps growing, so this will be added to again later this month. So really handy. And last but not least is that contact us section. So you can contact us at any time on the phone number or by sending a message through the portal, and we'll come back to you within 24 hours on working days. So that is the office management portal. Are there any questions at all? Okay. Super. So as I said at the start, there is a 30-day free trial at the moment. No payment details are taken at this time, and I'll share the link after the webinar. I think, Gozia, if I'm saying your name correctly, I'll just send it over to you because you're the only one. Yes, that's not on there at the moment. We do have the quarterly networking event, so our May invite has actually come out now, so I'll also send that on to you just in case you're in London and you're able to attend. And we are actively developing the portal, so there's lots and lots of webinars happening, expert panels happening, templates being uploaded, and we're about to release an upgrade of the portal in the next week or so, so watch out for that. There should be a few improved features. But ultimately, this tool has been created for you, for our members. So it's really key for us to get feedback. So if there's anything you need or you want, obviously we can't promise to do everything, but we certainly will try our best because we're go-to people for you. So yeah, that's the portal. Good. Are there any questions at all?
Yeah, I have one. Hi, so I have a question because I am currently managing 2 offices. So one is in London, another is in Berlin. So I understand that the portal is directly to anybody who is in UK, but will it actually, would you consider adding a section when you can have second country? Because the regulation would different, but it would be useful to be able to, compare stuff.
Sure. So you mean in terms of another country on the portal where the templates and suppliers and things apply to that country?
Well, maybe with the growing time, like in future or something. It's just we have just opened the office in Berlin. So, and to be honest, for somebody who is mainly in UK, I have to just look for everything from zero. So
sure,
maybe you have a contact with somebody who actually is or has been working in a different country and could provide a little bit insight. Just because that would be useful, because I have no clue. I have to dig for everything from zero. So if you could have somebody like saying, the information for the office manager in this country could be looked for here or here or here, that would be super cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So one of the aims of this is to make it a global platform. And it might be split because obviously templates and suppliers would vary, because
of course,
the suppliers in the UK are going to be different to America and Berlin and so on.
Yeah, sure.
But the idea eventually is to have this at a global level. I do have some contacts in a couple of places in Europe that may well be able to help with your new office. You're still looking, so I can always reach out to them. There's some ladies in France I know that are office managers there. So that might help in the interim. But yeah, absolutely, it's a really good idea. And as I say, my aim for this is to make it global and to be able to connect office managers everywhere across the world, particularly via that forum. So you can raise a topic and you could say, hey, I'm opening an office, in Australia now, and we need contacts out there. And hopefully Australian office managers can say, here, use these suppliers. If not, we've already got them in an Australian version of the portal. But yeah, at the moment that facility is not quite there, but definitely something that we're aiming to do. And likewise, where we have got these contacts, there's some in Barcelona that wanted access to the portal, but our payment system rejected it, and they were opening an office in London, so they wanted access to the portal for that reason. So in the reverse of where you are, they wanted it for London to help them. So yeah,
great.
Does that help answer?
It does very much. And I have a second question. You might have said that, and I might have missed it. If I did, I'm very sorry. So you've mentioned the events, webinars, networking, and stuff like that. So, and I know that I just briefly seen that you have something on the 24th of May when I'm not in the country. Is there a chance that it could be recorded, and later, if I will be a member of the portal, I can just watch it through the portal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So so we did our first webinar last month, which was a health and safety one. So we went through, in fact, it might have been earlier this month, but anyway, we went through the health and safety gap analysis template. So it was about 2 hours. And there was a one-off fee for people to join of £45, including that. And anybody that missed it and wanted to have the recording could just pay that fee, and you'd get the template and the recording thereafter. So that's still there if you're interested in that one.
Okay, that's good. It's just because I do work for the travel company, so I am all over the world quite often. Okay. Right now I'm sharing my time between Berlin and London, but last year I think half of my time I have spent in many different countries, so I just am aware that I would be missing a lot of those stuff simply because I'm not here. So I need to have a possibility of actually watching it in a time which works for me.
When you're ready. So, no, on the plane probably.
Anywhere.
Yeah. So what we're looking to do, we'll always record them, like this one's being recorded. What we'll have eventually is in here, and I think it's in this next release, you'll have your kind of account section. So if, for example, you're on a standard package, you'll have the option to upgrade if you
Yeah.
want to at any time to the other packages. And it will also have a reminder of what you get with your package, and then access to webinars. So if you did sign up to a webinar but you didn't attend, or even if you did, the recording will sit in here.
Okay.
So yeah, and you'll probably get an email with it afterwards anyway, if you signed up. So yeah, it's so flexible. It's almost more difficult to explain, because really anything and everything that we can do to help, we will. So certainly if there's a webinar that you've missed and you didn't sign up to it but you want it later, you can. So,
yeah. Okay. And oh my God, can I ask for one more thing? I promise it's the last one.
Of course you can. Of course you can. No, I don't mind.
Right. So I know it's a forum, and exchanging questions and information is brilliant. And you mentioned health and safety. Is there would it be through the forum or something else? What I'm looking for is an advice, for example, on suppliers for training, because I did various health and safety training, and some of them were really good and others were a complete waste of time and money. So if I could, like access in one place, the list of supplier, and then comment, this is great and this is absolutely wrong, that would be good. Is there something like this in the portal as well? I'm just
what, like being able to?
Yeah, because for example, let's say that I need to train a lot of people, and I'm looking for a training provider, let's say fire marshal, face header, whatever it is. And so instead of spending a day on looking at different options and comparing, maybe this is good or this is bad, maybe you have already this knowledge and you have somewhere in the portal, let's say the comment section or something, saying, okay, health and safety first aider, so this and this and this suppliers are good, and this don't bother going, it's awful, more or less something like that. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, absolutely. So and it's funny, every time I do one of these webinars, this is only the second one, but it gives me so many ideas off the back of questions. So I definitely welcome them. So at the moment, obviously, the only way we've got suppliers is through this partner directory, and we won't ever really have ratings in there, because you could join as a partner supplier and they have to pay a fee to join the portal, because they get access to events and so on. They don't get our member details, but they get an awful lot. So they could join, and you could have used them, for example, even before the portal, but even before you saw them in the portal, and just decide to review them and give them 1 star because you didn't get on with someone, and that's the end of their partnership in here. They'll probably never get used again. So we don't do ratings in here. But I am quite strict. So I've already kicked 1 partner out for bad behaviour at one of our events. So we're quite strict there. So if there is ever any feedback, we can do that. Of course, back to your question, you can use the forum to raise topics in there as well. But perhaps there's something more in this, which is taking both of these and combining them a little bit further at some point, and having some very common services, or like you say, training courses, and having prices next to them, because we've got the quotes ready for you. And then you guys can feed back and say, I didn't like this one because of this, and I liked this one. And maybe there's something about having some at your fingertips quotes. And that's a really good idea. It's not something that exists at the moment, but definitely there's the ability, like I say, to do it through the forum at the moment loosely. But yeah, really, really good idea.
Okay, thank you, Hannah.
No problem. I'm going to make a note of that and put it in my my development pack. Okay, super. Are there any other questions at all?
Not from me. I'm done. Thank you very much.
No worries, you're welcome. And are you free in May? Will I meet you at our event in May?
So I am actually on the 24th of May. I'm in Amsterdam at that time. So
hopefully the next one.
Because that's the exactly day I'm going to Amsterdam. So with me it's tricky. That's why it was so crucial that I can just watch something. I'm just all over the place. Half of my time I've spent in different offices.
Wow, jet setter.
Super. It is.
It's tiring though, isn't it, travelling all over the world? It
Yeah.
seems glamorous, but it's not always the case.
No, I sometimes go like, in last week when we were opening finally Berlin, I've spent there 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks, and I haven't seen anything despite, you know, the pavement between office and the hotel, because I work so much. I didn't really get to see the city.
No, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to be a tourist and a worker at the same time.
It is.
All right. If there's no other questions, then I'll wrap it up there, just to not take up too much more of your time, because I know you're probably both busy. But I'll send you the free trial link.
Thank you.
Gozia, and hope to see you in the future.
Definitely. And by the way, it's a really good idea. I was waiting for something like that to show up.
Oh, thank you. I'm really pleased. I'm really, really pleased you like it. I'll send you the links, and have a look at the and see. Good luck with your office opening.
Yeah, no, it's done. It's open. It just needs bits and pieces here and there. So, yeah, it will be interesting.
Okay, well done, you. Super. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining the Webemo. Really appreciate your time, and speak soon.
Speak soon. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Bye now.
All the best.
You're welcome. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.